everyone. In this video, I want to talk about evaluating trigonometric expressions or functions. Here are the two problems that we'll do, and to make sure we don't take ourselves too seriously, let's think about the fun question. What is the best motto to describe the way you live your life? So, on the math section, you will always see some questions related to trigonometry, not very many of them. These types would fall under trig ratios, reciprocals. It's evaluating a trig expression or function using information from the unit circle. And using the unit circle information is one of the standards for the ACT math section. So I thought this would be a good way to practicing, evaluating things like sine, tangent, and then we could talk about the reciprocal identities as well. Okay, unit circle, here it is. So if we were going to graph, let's say 60 degrees, we would start at the 0, go up to 60. If we were going to graph 135 degrees, start at the 0, go to 135. We were going to graph negative 210 degrees. That would be going from the 0 to the 150. That's negative degrees because you're going downward. If we were going to graph negative 45 degrees, that's starting at 0, going down 45 degrees, which is the same thing as the 315 degrees. So that is called, graphing angles in standard position. This, though, takes it a step further and says find the exact value, so no decimals, of each trig function. Okay, so we have a sine and a tangent. The one big thing we need to talk about related to the unit circle is that for all of these points right here, it goes in the order of cosine, comma. The cosine is the x and the sine is the y. So if I said, what is the cosine of 90 degrees, it would be 0. If I said, what is the sine of 270 degrees or negative 90 degrees, the sine would just be equal to negative 1. So we are given sine negative 45. Okay, so sine, meaning the y, at negative 45 degrees. Okay, here it is. It's the same thing as 315. And my sine is the y at 315. And so there it is, negative root 2 over 2. So the train of thought here is that sine of negative 45 degrees is the same thing as the sine of 315 degrees. And the sine, the y at 315 degrees is negative square root 2 over 2. So that's it. That's our final answer. Now, in the next one, tangent 30 degrees is what we have. So let's try to remember all of the trig functions. So I like to do sine, then cosine, then tangent, and then sine kind of goes with cosecant, cosine goes with secant, tangent goes with cotangent. Okay, so I know that if I were asked, and I'm not here, but I'm asked tangent 30. If I were asked, say, cotangent, that's going to be the same thing as 1 over the tangent. Secant then is 1 over the cosine. Cosecant is 1 over the sine. So these I want you to think of as basically reciprocals of the others. Okay, so tangent 30 it's not asking cotangent, it's asking tangent. But tangent 30, there's something that we need to know about tangent. And that is that tangent is equal to sine over cosine. So then if cotangent is the reciprocal, cotangent must be equal to cosine over sine. Okay, so a few things to memorize. We need to know the x is the cosine, the y is the sine. And then we need to know every time we see tangent that really it's like saying what is the sine of 30 over the cosine of 30. Okay, let's go check those out. So sine of 30 is there. And then cosine of 30 is the root 3 over 2. Okay, so sine 30, 1/2. Cosine 30, root 3 over 2. Now we can't leave our answer like that because we need to divide the fractions first. Let's do that. Dividing fractions is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So 1/2 over root 3 over 2 is the same thing as 1/2 times 2 over root 3. We then get these 2's can cancel to be 1 over 1. We're left with 1 over root 3. You cannot leave a root in the denominator, as we know. Final answer, root 3 over just 3. So I gave you an easier one and a harder one. The harder one, tangent, requires more steps. It's also possible that the practice problems could involve some of this information. Speaking of practice problems, here they are. Okay, we have a cosine of a large angle, and we have a secant of a negative angle. So that's sort of a double whammy for that second problem. So why don't you pause the video, try these, and we'll see if you get them right. Okay, solutions, here they are. Root 2 over 2, that's the same as the one we did earlier, just asking the cosine. And then we get 2 for that second one, because it's basically 1 over 1/2, which simplifies to just 2. A quote to leave you with some inspiration. Peace begins with a smile. Very, very simple. So I hope this video helped you in some way, and feel free to leave your answers to the fun questions in the comments. Feel free to subscribe if you would like to keep up with new videos. Thank you. Have a good day.